Deputy Speaker, I want to go to a particular point here in my contribution around housing and homelessness, because I don't know that it gets raised enough, Deputy Speaker, because this government has no policy for homelessness. They have nothing on the table around housing affordability. They have nothing for those people in our communities, the growing number in our communities, who are finding themselves either through mortgage or rental stress. Families, Deputy Speaker, in my electorate, families. Mums with kids sleeping in cars, Deputy Speaker. Mums with kids. Now, when I was first elected as the member for Lalor, now it's over 3 years ago now, one of the first things I did was hold a homelessness forum with the community organisations that support the homeless, because we knew what was coming even before the 2014 budget hit the ground. Because the messages were coming out that this government didn't want to fund advocacy, in the community sector. What a terrible thing if we know what's going on in our communities. What a terrible thing if the people who work with the most vulnerable and the most at risk have a voice and can contribute to the national debate by being funded to provide the research and the papers that we need to stand in this place and advocate for the people that we represent. Now, 3 years ago, this was becoming a crisis in my electorate. We have the highest number of evictions in the state of Victoria, in Wyndham, in the city of Wyndham, Deputy Speaker. And the last 3 years under this government, they were in crisis. It is now becoming something worse than that. Now, the ABC Lateline vividly captured the tyranny of local homelessness on the 11th of August in my electorate. It was a reminder that any one of us can fall on hard times and find ourselves sleeping rough. Any one of us, Deputy Speaker. It's a solemn reality that many are forced into homelessness because of circumstances completely out of their control. Now, they did this program, they highlighted it on a young homeless man in Wyndham in the electorate of Lalor. He lost his job when his employer shut up shop, lost his home, and he's now living in his car. Now, Deputy Speaker, he's a tradie, so the last thing he's going to give up is his car, because without that car, he's not employable. So he's made a really smart decision, keep his wheels, so that he's got the capacity to rejoin the workforce. This young man talked about his battles in trying to stay connected in the community, looking for work and just trying to survive at the same time. Deputy Speaker, this is one story. There are many in the electorate of Lalor, many. Now, local council and support services in the area, they're all reporting increasing numbers. None of the people that I've spoken to, and I've spoken to several who are homeless in our community, none of them I spoke to want to keep suffering the perpetual indignities that come with this. None of them. They simply want another chance to be part of their community, Deputy Speaker. But unfortunately for those people, the cuts that have come into play across the last 3 years from that dreadful 2014 budget are pushing those services that support these people further and further behind the 8 ball. The guardrail that used to stop people from going over this cliff edge is being undermined by the cuts from this government. And they're across the board. They're about domestic violence, they're about community legal centres, they're about the community organisations, they're about the relief funding. You know, we're down in Wyndham to families and individuals getting one food voucher a year, Deputy Speaker. One food voucher a year. A year, Deputy Speaker. It is outrageous. Cutting funding to these initiatives, Deputy Speaker, has meant heartbreaking stories. These are my neighbours. These are people who are living in our community, Deputy Speaker. And this government has no homelessness strategy, Deputy Speaker, and they went to an election with no housing affordability strategy either. They went to an election, in fact, Mr Speaker, they went to an election telling parents, shell out. You need to shell out to buy the kids a house. That's how you can do it. Deputy Speaker, I'm not sure what planet they live in. Get yourself some rich parents and life will be good. So, Deputy Speaker, where in this bill is there a reference to homelessness or to housing affordability? Where in the Appropriations bill? Where in the budget? Deputy Speaker, nothing has changed. This government is here, but they're giving us no certainty. No certainty to the most disadvantaged people in our community, and no certainty to the systems that our communities rely on. No certainty around school education. What business models need, Deputy Speaker? If you want to apply a business model to all of our services, what they need is certainty. We need certainty in hospitals. We need certainty in aged care. We need certainty for our community organisations, some certainty for our community legal centres. We need certainty in the renewable energy sector, Deputy Speaker. Pensioners need certainty. Superannuants need certainty. Let's not go there in the last 24 seconds. The roller coaster that superannuants have been on. Workers, Deputy Speaker, need certainty. And what we're getting from this government is not certainty, no action on the casualisation of the workforce. No, Deputy Speaker. What we've got is a system that is undermining conditions in workplaces. Deputy Speaker, this government has failed to deliver in 3 years. This new government will do the same.